Hi, welcome to Moon Dive Tarot. My name is Teddy. We're going to get into some message of what Spirit wants us to know most right now. We're still coming out of the energy of the full moon in Leo from a couple days ago, so let's get into it. Let's do some diving, shall we? We're going to start with the Moonology deck and pull a card and see what the moon energy is at this time. Some of the downloads I was getting earlier, one of the downloads I got was Dazed and Confused. So some of you might be watching that movie, something about 1970s. Dazed and Confused, some of you feel like you're kind of like moving through the day. You may be feeling just kind of dazed or feel like you're in a daze. Dazed and Confused. I feel like some of the people around you too, everyone's kind of moving like they're confused or something. With that, I feel like a lot of miscommunications are happening. It is Aquarius season. There's a lot of planets in Aquarius right now, including the Sun, Mercury, Venus, all this Aquarius energy going on. It's creating the sense of miscommunication, or kind of like I'm getting that like, oh, I thought I told you, or I thought I communicated to you kind of energy, or that might be just the vibes that you're feeling. I'm also getting the strong like underdog energy. So I feel like this is also like a self-worth with the full moon and being in Leo, being expressive, being bold. Some of you are finding your voice again, finding your confidence, or have been awakening into that confidence. You may be feeling that right now at this time. Something about the underdog, something like especially with all the protesting that's happening and people are speaking up using their voices, something about this underdog energy. Some of you, and you probably are if you're watching this and this is resonating, are the underdog or the black sheep, and the black sheep in your family or in your community. Something about this underdog energy. So let's get into a little bit what this is about, as well as this coming down. I heard coming down, so I don't know if you've been out partying, been out getting a little lit. Coming down, I feel like the full moon in Leo is a very dramatic full moon, very big, emotionally like releasing, and it's almost like you're like coming down. I heard something about a bender. Something about a bender. So I don't know if you've been on a drinking bender, emotional bender, spending bender, whatever it is. It's like this kind of this slight like either like binging or doing something in excess, or just kind of like you are just in a period where you maybe want to be isolated. You might not kind of want to be in a point where you want to like process your own emotions, kind of slow down. So if you feel guided to do that right now, that's the time, because I heard something about coming down, coming back into yourself, coming back into your body. I feel like the root chakra is really prominent right now. Also, I heard like crown chakra and root chakra, because we're getting a lot of like downloads and information. You want to be as grounded as much at this time. But first card out, you are good enough. Full moon in Virgo. I want to read this and get into this. This is also coming into that underdog vibes I was getting. You are good enough. Some of you, and if you're watching this and it's resonating, have felt getting imposter syndrome. This is something that you've had and you've held for a long time. You're not the only one feeling it. You're not the only one experiencing it. Some of this underdog energy has created a sense of unworthiness, or this self-worth wound that I feel. With that, the full moon in Virgo, and this is also a timeline too. This also speaks of a certain time. Full moon Virgos happens actually in Pisces season. So something about around Pisces season, in the next couple weeks, when this full moon rolls around, I believe in March, this is the lesson that we want to work on. This is what Spirit is trying to usher in for you, is that whatever it is that you are wanting, that you are good enough to have it, to achieve it. The universe is in Spirit is really saying that whatever dreams you have, whatever passions you have, you are good enough to achieve them, and you have everything that you need to achieve them. I want to read this in the book, see what it says. Okay, full moon in Virgo. It's time to really be honest with yourself and understand what's led you to ask your question. Have you been too humble to the point of self-efficacy? Humility is good, but it can go too far. And drawing this card, maybe that you're underrating yourself. Didn't I just say that? Underrating yourself. You don't have to be flash, just quietly certain that you are good enough. At the other end of the scale, you've also need to understand, no, sorry, you need to honestly understand this question. Have you been too picky? Have you been too picky? Okay. Well, full moon in Virgo needs some truthful answers. Once you've given them, it should be easier to see how you got to where you are. Your next step should be more obvious to you. Pay attention to the details. Hard work brings results. So, with that, like I said, I was also getting that picky energy. I feel like I want to speak on it because since it is Aquarius season, we have all these Aquarius placements, right? With Aquarius, is a very cerebral, heady, very detail oriented sign. That's the thing with Aquarius that I feel like is kind of discounted sometimes, is that it's kind of aloof and can be kind of like head in the clouds. But Aquarius energy is very in tune with details of things, maybe not all the time, but it does speak to the little things that people overlook or oversee. So something about being picky, you are good enough. I feel like some of you, I feel like you're being really hard on yourself. I feel with this Virgo energy, because I'm getting a lot of like body image things come up. So I feel like at this time you're nitpicking your body a little bit more, or looking at like your habits or certain routines that you have that isn't working for you and not giving you the results you want, and therefore you're kind of like nitpicking and being really specific about how you want things to be, how you want to look, how you want to come across, things you want to learn. I feel like Virgo talks about and the message of Virgo is about reconstruction and how to build more effectively, how can I create systems that are going to be a bit more effectively, how can I effectively put systems in place to achieve my goals, right? These are the things that come up when we think of Virgo, but we want to start here, is that you are good enough to achieve whatever it is that you're wanting. So Spirit is definitely making that a point. What you need to know is that right now you may feel like, I heard just like what you feel like you don't have enough. I feel like this also speaks to financially. I feel like you are feeling like you don't have enough to achieve what it is that you want, or enough to invest towards your dreams and your goals. The universe is saying you are good enough and you have enough. You have more than enough. So like this also goes back to that coming down and that overconsumption. Like some of you are you got too much going on. Okay, you are enough. You have enough. Okay. All right. So with that, let's get into some of the cards and then see what other messages come up. All right, now this one is one of my favorites. It's Madhouse Tarot from Eugene Vaninsky. Now this one, the imagery is a little bit graphic, a little intense, but I love the intensity from this deck. It's a very emotional deck for me. First out the deck, Ace of Coins. You have enough. This Ace of Coins is essentially the Ace of Pentacles. This speaks to us taking whatever little seed you have and planting it and rooting it. Because I heard just this kind of this like fresh start. I'm just getting this like new seed energy. I feel like this is an idea. You've been sitting on an idea for a long time and almost just like holding on to it and being really protective over, and really over analyzing it. This idea that you have, this idea is going to lead to abundance. This is a very abundant idea that you have. And this also could be like a project, could be idea, it could be a new financial path. This feels more like financial specifically, but this could even be a relationship. Take it whatever resonates. But with it, there is a sense of faith on your part. I heard faith. The universe saying that faith is what's going to make it grow. Faith, love, and just support, whatever those things mean to you, and whatever that looks like. Being surrounded by people that validate your truth and really validate your value. With this Ace of Coins, when I look at it too, the person's wearing a hat has flowers on it. So something about flowers is really inspiring. So I heard some of you might be painters or work with medium, like, I don't know, I heard just like something about like earth mediums. So I don't know if you like are a painter or you work with clay or work with your hands. It talks about working with your hands, and I heard something about getting your hands dirty. Getting your hands dirty. Spirit wants you to know that this is the time to really Oh, because I'm getting back to that full moon, this message of this like inner child creativity, something about getting your hands dirty, like going out, like you remember when we were kids and like going out in the mud and playing with dirt and rocks and sticks and building all kinds of stuff. The universe is trying to encourage that within you, to not be so caught up on the perfection of trying to perfect things too early, to just get your hands dirty, kind of get started. I heard the universe is just saying get started. What are you waiting for? Is also what I heard. Spirit is saying, what are you waiting for? All right, it's out of the deck. So yeah, whatever creative idea you're sitting on, get your hands dirty, get involved. Because I heard get involved. So, and I heard get involved. Someone wants to get involved. I feel like there's people, like-minded individuals that share that same creative idea and that same creative passion. They want to get involved. So whatever creative idea, passion you have, don't be afraid to seek the community you need to create the environment to cultivate that. What else does Spirit want us to know right now? Ooh, the moon. The moon. With this card, because this card is heavily attached to like Pisces, your emotions and how you're kind of, this is kind of a heavy energy for me. Because with the moon, it's like I said, once again, I'm getting this, something about like tortured artists. What is that? Taylor Swift tortures artist department? I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan, I'm sorry. Something about a tortured artist, with the moon here. This talks about, some of you are moving out of this, right? With the moon, with this Pisces energy. Something about this full moon like triggering up something for you, illuminating something for you. I feel like also with it being in Leo, it's kind of put you, I heard, in the spotlight. So in your life, you are feeling a spotlight on you. You may be feeling about the people around you. I feel like, or there's something being lit in your life that feels illuminated right now. What's this moon card? I want to divulge a little bit more about this. What is this moon card about? So like I said, something about, like I said, this full moon felt very dramatic. Not for me in particular. Well, I guess in a way. But it's almost, I'm getting this reality show kind of vibe. Like I feel like life is feeling more like a reality show. Something about breaking the fourth wall and like the Matrix. Like something about like this full moon is giving like theater, it's giving drama, it's giving reality show, it's giving like the quintessence Hollywood. Okay, so about Hollywood, I don't know if some people like moving to LA or if they ever dreamed about it, or are actors, or something about performing is really important too with the moon. The moon here, like this, is kind of like, it's also illuminating, but I heard something about vulnerability. This moon has ushered up a sense of like vulnerability with you or others around you, and it's meant to expand your heart space and your ability to explore these emotions, especially with the you are good enough. Explore these emotions of things that you're insecure about. You know, with dealing with this, you are good enough. Something about like a deep-seated or deep-rooted insecurities here. So I feel like this full moon has like put a spotlight on it. I heard rejection sensitivity. Something about rejection sensitivity. Some of you may have not fully invested in your idea because you have a rejection sensitivity. I heard Spirit is trying to help guide you through the emotions of that. That way you can operate, you can create from a place of freedom and not so much in a place of fear or rejection. Something about rejection sensitivity. Something about just feeling stuck or feeling there's a stuck part of yourself. Let's clarify the moon. King of Cups. Yeah, King of Cups here. This King of Cups talks about being really grounded emotionally, being really grounded in what you are creating and what you're manifesting, and also just what is fulfilling the most to you in your life. I want to clarify this a little bit more. King of Cups and the moon. Some of you feel pretty grounded emotionally. I feel like with the full moon in Leo and it being dramatic, I feel like some of you, I feel like if you're watching this, like, you can resonate with it, but like I heard something about being the most grounded person you know, or like something I heard about a former crash out, you know. With the moon and the King of Cups is kind of like, as you see, he's very seated, he's very grounded, he's very connected to his emotions. Now, when you are in this King of Cups energy, you are feeling very grounded emotionally, and not feeling so. Even if you look at the body language and the people in the cards, right, where it's like the moon, they're kind of like stuck, kind of like underground, something about underground. I heard that song Six Underground by Sneaker Pimps. I don't know, that song's in my head. But something about this creative process, something about the process. The universe wants you to, something about trust the process. It's really important. Wow. And then this other card came out too, Four of Cups. Now this card might make me a little bit emotional. This card, Four of Cups, normally depicted as like having four cups and just kind of turning down the fourth when you're like, all right, this is too much. Some of you, this full moon, spirit wants you to know right now that it's okay not to make a decision right now. It's okay not to want to consume or want to be involved, because I'm getting this kind of like you getting offers. You're getting offers to do certain things, or you have all these seemingly opportunities, but you're kind of here and you're just like, I don't really know. This also talks about, like, even in this card, I heard something about a betrayal, or like you not wanting to make a move because of how it's going to turn out last time. Spirit wants you to release that. The wings here are definitely drawing me into, because something about divinity is really important here. Something about your own inner divinity, your own creative process. Some of you have abandoned, see, now I'm going to get emotional here, because I heard some of you clipped your own wings so that way you can fly. Some of you have been burned by people in your past. Something about creative, either in a creative space or in the career space, even in love, where you're like, I rather not engage. I heard rather not engage or rather not participate, which is really heartbreaking the more that I look at this card and the energy in it, because the universe wants you to know that you are good enough. Some of you might feel like, you are too flawed to start over again, or you don't want to repeat. I heard something about repeating an old mistake. Wow, that's very emotional. I heard Spirit says focus less on this and more on the work. Spirit is saying put your emotions to work. Instead of feeling something about isolation too, because this energy that's going on is really heavy right now. A lot of us may want to isolate and kind of separate, and kind of, like I said, clip our own wings. That way we don't fly with our community. Because there's a song stuck in my head called Birds by Turnstile, that's been really stuck in my head. Something about birds. Birds aren't meant to fly alone is what I heard. But with the King of Cups here, this is really talking about taking this narrative and almost making it into a story, right? Very full moon in Leo, right? Like taking the emotions of how I'm feeling, instead of just feeling personalized and victimized by it. How can I make it into a narrative? How can I make my emotions serve me? How can I make my emotions something that makes me more relatable instead of more isolated? Because I see a pen and a quill here. Some of you are writers. I heard something about being a writer. If you're a writer, please continue to write. Pick up your pen. That's actually kind of trippy too. I just realized, because we have the feathers that are off, right? And then this person's writing, they have a feather that they're writing with, right? So I heard something about taking that pain or taking that piece that you thought that you didn't need, and that using that to create something, using these emotions, these experiences that you just look at and you feel hurt just by looking at them, experiencing them. Spirit really wants you to take that hurt, take a piece of it, and create something beautiful within it, right? Do something that connects you with others with it, because I heard other people need to hear your story. If you're a writer, if you're an artist, if you're a painter, if you're a singer, other people need to experience. And I heard your inner child needs to witness that. Ooh, let's see what else. That one. Let's do a couple more. Spirit want us to know right now? Okay. Next card out, Death. So this also is a very important energy too at this time. I feel like I'm getting this almost like looking in the mirror and like not recognizing who you see. I'm getting that you're looking at the mirror, or you're looking at old pictures, or looking at maybe yourself from like something about a year ago or something about a couple years ago. You looking at it and like not recognizing who you see, or you're seeing the changes. This is actually a really beautiful, as scary as this card looks. This is a very beautiful energy. Something about this kind of like you, like, because I heard something about like a depressive episode, or like stuck in bed. This kind of like, I heard something about like bedridden, or feeling, I don't know, I'm getting this you feeling debilitated in some way. Something about this like wanting to stay in bed, wanting not to get out, literally, or this could be like figuratively or emotionally. Like I said, I'm getting that like isolate energy, right? This kind of like, I'm just gonna hide from the world, kind of seclude and hide the best parts. I heard hiding the best parts of yourself. But with Death here, there's talks about, and the energy of this talks about a transformation taking place. It talks about leaving behind the skeletons of the past, of the memories of the past, letting go of the pain and the emotions of the past. And that's what this full moon has illuminated for you. Is I heard something about I'm getting this like, I can't carry on like this, or I can't keep living like this. About this last couple full moon, like you feeling this way over the last week or last couple weeks, but this full moon definitely illuminated the ways that you live your life, and you're like, I cannot live like this anymore. Or if you live with others, or if you're this also feels like work too, even relationship, you looking at it and being like, I can't live in this state. I can't live in a state where things aren't growing, because ultimately that's what death is meant to do, facilitate a transformation taking place, not being the end all be all, but it's, death is a thing that helps new things grow. So it's kind of like, it's I heard something about a portal. This card too is also giving me that, like I said, portal. These are all portals here. These are all like timelines I hear. So I heard something about like one door opens, another one door closes, another one opens, right? But you have 4 open doors, and if you choose one, others are going to close, if that makes sense. And something about having options, but I heard that there's only like really one true option for you when it comes to your purpose, not necessarily what you want to do. You may have maybe a couple of like creative passions or creative portals you can kind of walk through, right? The universe wants you to pick the one that is the most aligned, that's going to trigger the most growth, right? You want to pick the opportunity. What opportunity is going to challenge me to grow? Something about, you having an opportunity to stay stagnant, or having to like bury a part of yourself, or the universe wants you to guide you into the universe wants to guide you into a space to where the next portal you go through is one that's going to challenge you and help you develop and grow. That way you become a more developed, a more evolved version of yourself. Next out, Page of Swords, okay? Page of Swords. Page of Swords, okay. This is giving me like 7 years ago, kind of like some of you. So, oh my gosh. Like, are you watching Bridgerton or something? Something about like Bridgerton, or like that kind of like 1700s vibes I'm getting here. But Page of Swords is like, this talks about really using your intellect to your advantage right now, especially right now. I heard get information, like Beyonce, what's that song, information, something about get information. Getting also this like going to the library, getting books, getting information, something about like going back to physical media, like reading old letters or old books kind of thing. Not so much the whole like AI, like let me try to scour the internet for information. Spirit is really urging you right now to, I heard, get curious. If there's a path, if there is a, instead of being fearful, be curious at this time. That's what Spirit is really ushering us with. Looking at things more objectively. Let me repeat that. Objectively, spirit wants us to be more objective and more like birds, because I heard something about bird's eye view about things, and being more objective when you're pursuing whatever it is that you're pursuing next in your life. So if this is a relationship or if this is a new connection, being more objective, okay, not getting so emotionally involved and attached, staying really grounded, but also kind of like I said, coming from a place of like you knowing your worth, but something about like being curious. Some of you, if you're watching this, like I said, you're something about being curious. I feel like someone's also looking at you in a very curious way. I feel like this could be in the romantic sense also. Someone that you may have seen in passing, or if you're on dating apps or something, or whatever your business is that you're doing. Page of Swords, this talks about a curiosity. This talks about like I want to, you don't know exactly where the path is going to lead you down, but it's enough to be curious. So something about stay curious right now. Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought him back. Is what I heard. Let's see. And then the last card out. Now this one's kind of intense. This one is Strength. And I feel like this also pulls from that full moon in Leo. Leo rules over the Strength card. And essentially the archetype of like Leo being one of the most strongest signs in the zodiac, but one of the most strongest of heart. Strength right here. Like I was saying, this is going back to that you taming the wild parts of yourself. Not taming, I don't think that's the right word. I heard refine. Because like I said, going back to that kind of like coming down energy. Some of you have been letting I'm going to be honest, I'm letting your shadow side run the show. Letting your shadow side make decisions for you that may not have been the healthiest, have led you into jobs, careers, relationships, living situations that were ultimately not the best thing for you in the long term, because it's not serving you. Essentially something about like self-mastery, something about heard something about the divine feminine also, whether you're male or female, something about a refined like divine feminine. This goes back to that self-worth, you are good enough kind of energy. Something about this really like divine feminine grounded energy, being more deliberate, more intentional, also understanding the power of your divine feminine right now. Something about like staying grounded in that is really important. With this also talks about like, because I'm getting this like medical kind of energy. This talks about getting treatment. So some of you are in the process of getting medical treatments, or getting medical treatments done. I do see you being healthier because of that, or having the results that you need to, but it requires a lot of strength. You're going to have the healing process is requiring for you to have a lot of strength, surrendering. Because something I heard something about like, I'm afraid of needles, fear of needles. Okay. This resonates with me because I freaking hate needles. Okay. But something about having a procedure or some type of medical procedure done, and there's a part of you that doesn't want to do it or wants to fight against it. If you know this is the best thing for you, you're going to have to surrender a little bit of your ego in order to get that procedure done. But I do see here this you healing really beautifully, just as long as you stick to whatever the healing, because I'm hearing this like lifestyle change that happens with this. You have to completely change or something about the way you eat, or you sleep, or something about a routine, something about, like I said, going back to this, like changing your lifestyle around you doing the thing. Whatever this medical or whatever this lifestyle, because this feels more pertains to lifestyle, whatever this lifestyle change is, there's also a mind shift that comes with it too. Mindset shift, like I said, this kind of curiosity, this, instead of you being afraid or fearful, you should be curious on what the other side looks like. And bottom of the deck, Ace of Swords here. Now with Ace of Swords, this is really beautiful energy to wrap this up, because this feel like this is about Aquarius energy in a way too. If you look at it, it's like surrounded by thorns. There's a rose on the ground, but he's looking up, trying to make his way out. So something about holding on to your vision, holding on to optimism, staying curious, and also ultimately like there's this like I just got this really really heavy message, that you are there's a situation in your life that's making you feel like this, where you're having to think really strategically on how to get the F out. Okay. If this is work, if this is a relationship, this is debt, if this is even your own trauma, your own emotions, something about take your time is really important. Spirit wants you to take your time. Do not rush it. Because you see there's a lot of thorns, something about like thorns, or like glass, or just, I'm just getting this kind of like, you have to take your time with the next steps forward. You don't want to rush it, because you could end up injuring yourself or getting yourself in more harm or more trouble. Something about taking your time. So if you are making your way out of a difficult situation, definitely take your time. Do not try to rush. Try not to speed. With it being Aquarius season, we all kind of want to hop in a spaceship and kind of figure things out and kind of move a little too fast, right? With Ace of Swords, this is the card where this talks about like understanding the weight of your decisions. That's really what the Ace of Swords really talks about, since it talks about like communications, the way we speak, the way that we think, the way that we create our reality with the words. We cast spells every day. We create the reality in which we live in through the words we speak, the way we think. Okay. Ace of Swords talks about holding on to a positive perspective, but also being realistic, taking your time. And like I said, Spirit says like, there is beauty that lies on the other side of this. It's just going to take some work. And it's going to, because I heard something about like a painful process. This could be, like I said, if you're changing your body, if you're changing your mindset, it's going to be very painful. The process is something about trusting the process is important. Because I heard something about this, like being in debt or being in a situation where you're like, damn, I feel like, I take one step forward, two steps back kind of thing. Or like, even if you look at the character, the person's card, they can't climb all the way up. They could, with their mindset, they have to be very strategic. Something about being very, very, very intentional. Heard this is chess, not checkers. Okay. This is chess, not checkers. You have to, thinking about it 3 moves ahead. So something about 3 or 4 moves ahead, which is really important right now. Instead of move step by step, but you think moves ahead, right? You can only take one step at a time. If you have to, make your next move your best move, but thinking ahead, not, because I heard something about like kind of like living on credit or something like this, kind of like, or like paycheck to paycheck, but energetically, right? You're moving to the next just with what you have. But I heard making it stretch. I don't know that song. I could make that dough stretch. Okay, I could teach finesse. Okay, something about making things stretch. Okay, I don't know if it's making your money stretch, or I don't know if you're stretching or you've been doing your stretching. Something about making things stretch. But this at the bottom of the deck, Ace of Swords, really speaks about this time. Spirit wants you to know that you are able and capable to achieve what it is that you want. You just don't rush it. Okay, don't rush it. Definitely take your time. Think. I heard stop, look, and listen. Okay, stop, look, and listen. Okay. Something about paying attention to your surroundings is really important right now, because I see like I see like glass breaking, or like accidents happening, or something where it's like, I heard Murphy's Law also. Something about Murphy's Law. If you know what that is, Murphy's Law is basically the law of anything that will go wrong, anything that can go wrong will go wrong, is essentially what Murphy's Law is. So at this time, I feel like that's in effect right now. Anything that can't go wrong will go wrong. So something about watching your step, being really intentional with the space you're in and who you have in that space. Because I heard something about like something about like spidey senses, like, like Spider-Man and shit. Like, I don't know, that's something about the Spider-Man energy where, when he's like out doing his thing and he gets that like tingling sense, and he's just like, I can't see it yet, but I can feel it. That's essentially what Spirit is kind of like. Spirit is triggering up all of our like spider senses right now. So if you're in a situation and you're like, it feels wrong, I need to get out of here, do it. Okay, don't think twice. Okay. like when it comes to that in any other way, if there's not a life or death situation, take your time, think about it. Don't feel the need to rush. But if it's something that you feel ultimately in your spirit you need to move, do not doubt that. All right, and let's wrap this up with what our spirit needs to know. This is the Archangel Oracle cards. Okay. I need two more. What does Spirit want us to know right now? What is the message from our highest selves right now? Oh, it's a good one. All right, first one out. Moon cycles. Like I said, we got the moon. I love that this is coming out. Moon cycles, the moon, and the full moon in Virgo. Moon cycles. So let's read this. Moon cycles. Notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestation, and capitalize upon these cycles. So something about following or tracking the moon or following the moon is going to be really important. Right now the moon's in Virgo. Ironically enough, moon in Virgo. Okay, we love this. With the moon cycles, we can use them as a guide. Notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations. With it being a full moon, it's kind of going into its waning phase, meaning that the energy has been released or still releasing, and now we're kind of like winding down into that. Notice how you feel. Something about manifestations. I heard also creatively. Notice how you feel with the moon. When the moon is at this phase where it's like winding down, where it's kind of like going, within a 2-week period, we're going to be going back into the new moon phase. It talks about releasing, right? So some of you might feel like you're shedding or feeling like you're at the completion, or have completed your project, or you're at a point to where you're something about wrapping up, something about like wrap it up. I heard wrap it up. I heard Spirit saying wrap it up, okay? Because I'm getting this I'm getting some of you are like procrastinating. Something's completed. You are just procrastinating. Spirit is saying wrap it up, okay? Get out of your head. Just, it's time to let it out. Time to let it go. Instead of just sitting on it. Notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations, and capitalize off these cycles. So this just talks about just really knowing your own emotional like bandwidth, I think. With right now, with the full moon in Virgo right now. I mean, with the moon still full. It's in that Virgo energy. Spirit really wants us to still sit in this you are good enough, because coming out of that full moon in Leo is kind of like, the full moon in Leo, we all think we're the ish, we're all, we all think we're all big and bad, until this full moon in Virgo where it's like all of your imperfections are highlighted, and you're like, some people crash out because they can't handle the ego, the reality check that comes with that, right? But when you sit within yourself and your own authenticity, you can sit and be like, you know what, like, I still got things I got to work on. I still have things I need to release. So that's what Spirit is bringing in for us right now, is that we're still releasing. Patience. I love this. Archangel Jophiel. Your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize. Still, they need nurturing and patience. So like I said, take your time, okay? Virgo moon. This is also giving me strong Virgo energy with this Virgo moon. Take your time right now. If you look at the ecosystem, you look at Earth right now. It's winter right now. Like, nature is not rushing anything. This is the time to still release. The Earth is still shedding at this moment, still kind of gaining its momentum. It won't be until maybe the next 2 months, next 2-3 months, going into spring, where things will start to pick up and grow, and we'll start to see the manifestations of things. But right now it's just to sit in the knowing. I heard sit in the knowing that everything you want is going to be there for you. Something about having patience. I heard being patient with yourself, being patient with the process. Okay, some of you want microwave results, okay? Some of you want, you can't when you it's like cooking, because I heard something about cooking. Some of you might be cooking at home more. Probably cooking at home more, making home cooked meals. There's something about microwave meal or microwave kind of energy, trying to rush the process or trying to beep boop bop, press some buttons, and no, Spirit is saying no. I heard good things take time. The best things take time. Okay, think of like a gumbo or pot roast, like things that require the alchemy of the process of things being broken down and meshed together. That's something you can't get out of a microwave, baby. Okay, so just have some patience. I heard nurturing and patience, so make sure you are nurturing. So I'm seeing this. She's like pouring, and this is also going back to that Aquarius energy, right? The water bearer, right? The archetype. That like something about watering yourself or watering your emotions when you feel insecure, you feel kind of crummy. Just, remember to water yourself. Be around other people that can pour their water onto you or pour their emotions onto you in a positive way. And prioritize. Focus on your highest priorities. I will help you get organized and motivated. Spirit really wants us. This is the most Moon in Virgo read if I've ever seen one, okay? Prioritize. Focus on your highest priorities. I will help you get organized and motivated. So something about organization is really important right now. Being able to prioritize, because I keep going back to this Ace of Swords. This prioritize in strategy. I will help you get organized and motivated, because I heard something about like the path ahead is going to get really difficult. It's going to get really, it's going to be harder to stick to a routine. Either I heard something about like a routine change. I don't know if your schedule is going to change. Something about a schedule changing, or you having to adjust your schedule. This is the time Spirit wants us to slow down, focus on what is the most important thing right now, how to get organized and motivated. I heard simple. I keep hearing like simple, like how can you make the hard things easy? How can you simplify the process instead of quantifying? How can you simplify? How can you get more organized and motivated in a very simple way? Because I heard something about, like I said, your routine changing, your eating, your diet, your habits changing. Spirit really wants us right now to get grounded on Spirit wants us to focus less on how we're manifesting these things and when they're going to come in, to versus like who you have to be in order to manifest these things, in order to hold that manifestation, right? If you're someone who, if you're just looking, you're watching the grass grow, you're trying to watch the garden grow, you're not becoming the person in the process that, can withstand, or that can hold on to these beautiful manifestations coming in. Okay, and I'm going to end the reading here with a affirmation. And then just to wrap up all that beautiful energy, what does Spirit want us to know right now? What's the affirmation? Spirit. Oh, that's a lot. Oh, it's a lot. Okay. Oh, I love. Wow. Okay. Walk your journey in your truth. The choices you make out of love for yourself won't always resonate with or make sense to others. And even if that is hard to accept, it's okay. It's okay if they don't understand that what you do with self-love as the intention is also an act of love towards them. One day they will get it. But until then, walk your journey in your truth. The day they get it is a part of their journey and not yours. The affirmation is, I am grateful for the truth in my journey. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Didn't I just say that? I am grateful for the truth in my journey. That's so beautiful. All right, well, that's the messages I have for you. Thank you so much for tuning in and moon diving with me. If you enjoyed this, please like the video. If it resonates, or if it's a message for someone else, please share it. Other than that, I'll catch you later. Have a good one.